Harimi, harimi, al tirai, harimi, al tirai. Imri le'arei Yehuda, hinei Elokeichem. Harimi, harimi, al tirai.
Hello, let's continue with Pirkei Avos with Rabeinu Yonah. We are in the middle of Mishnah 13 in chapter 3, so 3:13, and we said that a guard for wisdom is shtika, is being quiet. That means a way to acquire wisdom, the way to acquire wisdom, and the way to guard wisdom is by being quiet. So let's see what Rabeinu Yonah has to say on this. Zeh hasyag, this is the guardrail. Ben lemidosea, ben lechachma atzma moel. This helps for the different attributes related to acquiring wisdom or wisdom itself. Lemidosea ketzad. What about its traits? She'ena nichnas letoch divrei chavero. That means when your friend is speaking, not to interrupt him. V'amar shelo shama omer lo shamati. And if someone asks you something and you don't know the answer, say I don't know. I never heard anything about this. Afal pi she'ein zeh midas hashtika, midas hashtika mavil leidei kach. Not exactly sure what that line means. What he's trying to say there. L'chachma ketzad. What about for wisdom itself? She'ena medaber bifnei misha gadol mimenu b'chachma. This means that a person shouldn't speak in front of someone who is wiser than him in wisdom. So perhaps someone's asking the rabbi a question, and maybe you think you know the answer, and you're ready to jump in. No, you let the rabbi answer. Perhaps the rabbi will say something you haven't thought of. But anyone who's greater in wisdom, you should let them answer first. If somebody learns studying in front of his rabbi, and he thinks about a certain argument, a certain logical argument that he has, don't think right away that what you thought is the truth. Right? You're sitting in a class and you think of a brilliant point. Don't think right away that it's for sure true. And don't want to raise your hand and shout it out right away. Until your Rebbe finishes speaking, until the teacher stops talking, leave it under your tongue. Because if you don't do this, you're going to lose out what your rabbi is talking about. And you're not going to know the logical svaras, the logical arguments that the rabbis before you have said. Because your heart is going back and forth to let your own opinion be known. What could happen is in a class, you think you have a brilliant point, and you want to say it, so you keep thinking about what you want to say, and in the meantime, you're missing what your rabbi is saying, you're missing what the teacher is saying, and you're losing out on gaining that wisdom because you're so focused on your own svara, your own logical point that you want to address. And not only are you going to miss what your teacher is saying, or your rabbi is saying, but you're going to miss, he's probably sharing not only his own opinion, but other opinions of great people who came before you. And it could be also, and really what you should be doing is, it could be that what you're thinking is not really right. And what you need to be doing is to think about what the previous great people before you have said, and then you can weigh everything properly. And you could see and you could think about, first you have to digest what the rabbi teaches, and you have to know what he's saying, and therefore, after that you can determine which svara makes sense to you, what is the most logical, which logic svara is logic, what logical argument or a thought. So you want to listen first what the rabbi says, what the teacher says from what people previously have said, and then you can determine and think about it based on that. But if you're just thinking about what you want to get out in the class and what you want to share, then first of all, what you're thinking is not so thought out yet. You should really compare what you're thinking to what others before you have said, and then maybe you'll see like, I'm incorrect here, or I missed a point that great rabbis before me have said. Obviously he's talking about Torah classes here, but I imagine this applies for most disciplines. And you need to hear what the rabbi says, because this also has to do with humility, that we always think what we have to say is the most important thing and is the best, but especially if someone is greater than us, then it's definitely important to listen to them, because probably what they have to say is actually more intelligent than what we have to say. Okay, Hashtika l'talmid l'fnei harav hagadol mimeno b'chachma siag l'chachma. Therefore, a student who is quiet in front of a rabbi who is greater than him is a guard for wisdom. That's how you become wise. Ubihimatze svara v'odera harav medaber v'hu shoysek lo yiftach piv ad ya'iru divrei harav. And if you think of something when the rabbi is talking, you should be quiet until the rabbi enlightens you. Usvaraso yechakot belibo ad gemara devarim v'yavin mashalim derabo. First, and you should have the logic that the rabbi is teaching you set in your heart. Achrei kain tiyasvaraso tzlul mechuvenas. And then afterwards, his svara will be understood and proper. V'azeh amar Shlomo Melech, and this King Solomon said, lo yachbotz ksil betvuna. The fool doesn't want wisdom, ki'im bihiskalos libo, but rather just wants to reveal his heart. A foolish person just wants to say his opinions and share what he thinks all the time. But a wise person wants to listen and to learn. So instead, if you're ever in a class, this applies for all of us, whenever we're in a class and we're listening to someone greater than us, instead of thinking, oh, this is what I want to say, and listen to what I have to say, you want to become wise, you should instead, first of all, be quiet and listen to what the person who's greater than you is saying. And you should spend more effort trying to get clear what he's saying. It's more important to get clear what he's saying than want to share your own opinions. Okay, and with that we finished Mishnah number 13, and next time we will start Mishnah 14. Okay, wishing everyone a great day.